Hello and welcome back to Starfish Point. My name's Nedman, I'm the founder of Nedman Industries, and I have an unlimited budget to create the city of my dreams. I've built a custom map and now I'm filling it in with a city that I really like building, and as you can see we've made a lot of decent progress. This city is looking absolutely stunning. In my opinion anyway. Everybody has the different opinions, but I really like it. I like the mini sort of downtown that we've built. That was suggested in the comments section quite a few times, and we have built it. And I think it looks really nice. It's not too overwhelming. The buildings aren't too high. I think it looks really nice, especially with this train line that's integrated between the main roads, key areas, and then we've got our sports parks, our other rooftop terrace buildings alongside the main avenue there. As a whole, I think the city is really coming together. We've still got a lot to do, a lot of progress to be made, filling in a few gaps further down the beach line, but we'll get into that in a moment and discuss our plans. So the plans that we have are, obviously we've got this absolutely stunning sort of area down here by the beaches, which in my opinion looks absolutely fantastic. Really nice to look at, and as we zoom out it kind of fits really nicely. It kind of flows towards the river. That is a big river, if that's a river, the sea. We have the space down over on this section here that we still need to fill out and decorate, to kind of keep the beach vibe sort of flowing. So the initial plan is we need to focus on this area here, this area that we've got. But what I want to do is try and start off with laying out a few roads, because what I want is a cruise ship sort of port. Because I'm thinking if we integrate a train station into this line, that can take people into the main city. We have a cruise ship port about here. They can basically walk straight from that cruise ship port onto the train into the main city. That would make sense to me. The only thing that is making me not want to do that is, would you really put a cruise ship port right here? In two minds I'm saying yes you would, because a lot of the Caribbean islands and stuff like that I've been to, their cruise ship ports are basically right on the coast nearby their main kind of shopping seaside destination areas, so it does kind of make sense, but it also makes you think, would you want to be sat on the beach with these massive cruise liners coming down here? So who knows. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try and integrate a train station into the existing line that we've got going on here. We're going to stick with the theme of these EE train stations, because we might as well stick with the theme that we've already got. So what we need to do in order to build that is we actually want to demolish this little portion here and then basically just connect it to the track. So I'm going to pause it because the game's going to hate me when I do this. And we're just going to... Oh, this might be a bit problematic. If we see if we can just draw a little road across here to give us an ideal position for that, and then we can get rid of it there. Good. That's fine. The ground is slightly uneven, but it should be okay. We'll test it out and see what happens. Sorry, I've lost the plot. Where's the trains? There we go. And then pick out EE train station, which should fit pretty perfectly just here. How does that go? Does that fit alright? I mean, it does fit alright. It's a little bit skew-if, just ever so slightly skew-if, just because of the terrain height that we've got kind of going on here. But to be honest with you, I don't think there's an issue with that. I think that looks fine. Maybe we'll just smooth the terrain around it ever so slightly. Just soften it out. I think that's going to be my quote, is smooth the terrain, because I love a smooth terrain. We don't need lumpy, ugly looking terrain. Let's smooth it out, make it look nice and gradual. That actually didn't really do much, so I don't know why I'm talking the talk when I'm not really walking the walk, but whatever, that's good. Now that's fantastic, that fits in nicely. We're going to work on this section in a short while, but before we do that I want to make another highway exit, something nice and simple, just around this sort of area that we've got here, just to allow traffic to flow off a little bit further up the line and then drop in to the main sort of beach area. And then we will have it also flowing down here, and it could potentially look at connecting it up via here as well, just to give them an earlier exit, because at the moment they've only really got up there to come off. So we're going to think about what we're going to do here. It's probably going to involve moving this train line as well. So let's just have a little look. It's all slightly curved, so we might have to do a few adjustments as well. But on this portion of land that we've got here, that goes flat about there. So what we're going to do is just going to draw that back all the way to here. Good. We're going to do the same with the train line. We'll draw that back as well, and I'm going to clear this space of trees. So interchange wise, we've got a couple of options, one of them being this sort of junction here, that we could get a decent angle and that could flow across relatively nicely. The other options we have is not that one, absolutely not. Potentially this one, but I don't like the way that the bridge that's going over the top is slightly too thin. So that might not work out how we want it to work out, although it does look relatively nice. We also have the choice of this one that kind of tunnels underneath. That could work, but again it's quite a small compact interchange. Whether we want that, we're not entirely sure. And then as well a single point interchange, which basically turns the highway into a condensed bridge, goes over. I think, judging by these, probably our best bet is probably this one. I think this one will look nicer. I'm going to turn it around and have it this way, and then I reckon that will probably be our best bet for an interchange. So let's have a look and see what it looks like. Okay, yeah, it's not the craziest thing in the world, but it does somewhat fit. Let's just have a look to see what it does with the lanes, because it's kind of got these feeder lanes in there, but they're not quite straight, are they? But it works out fine. It's just not quite straight, and then obviously the lanes are slightly different sizes and all that jazz. But yes, we'll have a think. Okay, so we've worked on the junction. We've managed to integrate the train line to tunnel underneath the key junction. We've linked up the roads so that we've adjusted them slightly, but now they all connect and link up the whole distance that we've got going on here, which is good. We need to kind of decorate this ever so slightly, just a little bit, just to make it look a little bit nicer, because at the moment it doesn't look great. It just looks bland and empty, doesn't it? So we'll probably work on trying to make this look a little bit nicer, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just working on the interchange just to try and make it look a little bit nicer. So we've added a small pedestrian footbridge that goes across here, which connects up to all these footpaths. I'm not sure who's going to be walking up here anytime soon, but it's there for the future. And what I might do is just add a couple of paths that kind of link up here, because it just looks a bit weird with it being blank, doesn't it? Maybe if we just did that. That also looks weird. Oh, decisions. Maybe we'll just leave it as that for now. I want to do something with this space here. Potentially, I don't think we need these. No, I don't think we need those, but because we're kind of already becoming level. I wonder what boulders would look like in this sort of area. I mean, they're not too big. They could actually work. Let's just try it out and see what the boulders end up looking like along this little section here. Well, I mean, yeah, I think that'll be alright actually. We just fill that in at a decent sort of angle. Yeah, that'll be alright, won't it? Yeah, of course. Nice. Let's do that. Let's fill in these gaps here with the boulders. Just bring it on alongside here. Just like that, and that separates the highway from the footpaths quite nicely. Good. I want this highway interchange to look rather unique, so we've got these trees and the stones, etc. I've gone for these funny looking heads kind of on the approach, just as kind of like a unique little thing as you come into the city. Another little point to have as like a tourist attraction kind of thing. And then we just need to decorate the gaps in around here with various different trees, etc. Make it look quite nice. Okay, that interchange is looking a lot nicer, a lot more unique now than it did before. So we're kind of happy with that for the time being. We're going to try and shift our focus slightly to actually continuing what we set out to do, because I keep spending way too much time on these random things that are going on. So let's have a little look and figure out what we're going to do next. So I'm just working on trying to figure out kind of road layouts that we could use moving forward. I'm just trying to mess around with it a little bit just to see what we can get kind of going on here. It might be a case that some of this is going to be terribly wrong and we need to redo it, but it is what it is. So we're just going to have a little play around. Kind of deciding factor is right. Let's figure out how much space our boat terminal is going to take up. So theory, it can go kind of anywhere to about here. About there, probably. Should we build a road first so that we can somewhat get it right? Maybe if we build a road to here, cross to there, and then up to there. And we can always adjust this road. This is just a temporary measure. Let's grab that, kind of do it roughly at the same spot as the last road was, and then bring that across there. And I'm hoping that that has enough space to kind of sit here. Overlapping items, so that'll be overlapping these, which is expected. And then let's try and place that again, see if that's still overlapping something. What are you overlapping, sir? Let's see if it will work if we place it with Anarchy, just to see how we get on. Right, if we put that there. Are we just a little bit too far out? Is that the issue? Interesting. It's going to be more difficult than I expected. I'm going to have to play around with it slightly and then see how we get on. So we've got a location for it. We just have a few issues, various issues here with, well, the looks of how it's looking. I'm wondering if we actually bring that out, we can cover up that greenery all the way out underneath here. And that should cover it off and make it look a little bit better. Fingers crossed. Grab all of that out there. It makes it look a little bit sandy and a little bit shallow for the boats, though, doesn't it? That's one of the issues that we have. Let's see if it actually will function. That's the kind of main thing. So we've got this seaway here. Probably our best bet is to just drag it across there and into there. Is that going to be okay? I mean, it's connected up, as you can see. So that should, in theory, work. Do we want to drag it out here as well, just a little bit? And because that looks like more a sensible idea, having it there. Maybe it will be more sensible. Let's pick that and then see if we can pick that. And then that brings it away from this coast here, this beach section that we've got going on. Good. Right. Now that we've done that, we need to kind of determine how we're going to connect these roads up here. So I'm going to draw this out just like that. And we're going to try and curve it round, link it up there. So that's kind of a nice sort of coastal road that we've got going on. And we've got a choice of two things. We can either just straight line connect that up to here, or we can continue it around the coast, kind of like that angle around there. And I'm undecided of what would look better. So I do want a bus station in here, but they're all a little bit too... Obviously we've got this really small one, but we don't really want that really small one. This one's kind of the only other size, but it's just slightly too wide. So I'm thinking whether we reduce the size of this avenue that we've got here, just so that we can fit the bus station nice and flush in there. Now let's just place it down and see what it actually looks like. What upgrades does it have? So that adds extra bus stops, and then what's this? Bus service station provides support services for your network. I mean, it would be nice to have, because this is kind of like a transport hub centre sort of thing. But do we need it there? Or do we just want to have the small one kind of central to here? Probably makes more sense to have it central to there, or near enough central anyway. Then what's this do? Station services, taxi stop, extra platforms. We'd build it out that way. Make that slightly bigger. Put that in at the back. And then we'll move you slightly so that you're somewhat more in the center of that, at least. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is harder to think about than I expected. With this road here, we at least need to greenery the center of this to make it look a little bit less ugly. But we're probably going to have to adjust this road slightly, because that's quite the formidable ugly layout, isn't it, here? So we'll probably have to mess around with this road first, and then we'll figure out decorating. I just can't agree with the road layouts here. So what I might do is just try and change these to normal roads. I don't think we need these massive avenues. As much as it could be helpful, they just look so ugly. I mean, at least for the time being anyway. But if we just have these roads and then link that into here, just like that, we can then bring this one out, following along that footpath. Good. And that could probably stick with the theme around here. Well, I think this just looks much more tidy doing it this way compared to everything else, if you know what I mean, having these sort of roads. So that corner's a little bit skew-if as well, so I probably want to adjust that a little bit, because if we want a sort of straighter sort of road here, then straighten that out, bring this out a little bit more, and let's see if we can actually curve that right around like this. That is what I would call hideous. Oh dear. Whatever. Let's try it exactly from here instead. So let's bring that out to there, and then let's bring that out like that. I mean, it looks better. Just seems a little bit too far away from the coast, but we might leave it as that for now, just so that we have some sort of road. But yeah, these road layouts are turning into a bit of a nightmare. So with these, let's try and bring this main road out, and let's just slap it right in to the corner there. Good. And then let's upgrade the centre with a few of this and a few trees as well. Good. That already looks better than whatever it was doing to begin with. And then we want one road across here connecting up to the main sort of route that we've got going on just there, and then we'll just box that off just like that. We could even bring that round and kind of drop it in to match it. I mean, it's unique. It's not very efficient, I don't think, but it is unique. So now that we've actually made this wider, we can fit this bus station in here, which I think we should do, just to switch it up slightly. So we'll have that space here, and we'll upgrade this as much as we kind of can. Don't think we need this this station, service station. I don't really think we need that. An office building to provide support service to your bus network. Does it actually do anything, or is it just a have a look at this? This is cool. Can't imagine it actually does much. It doesn't say that it does anything. It's just kind of there. So I'm not entirely convinced that we need them, and I'm not entirely convinced either that they look any better than without. So I think that should stay as it is, like that. I think that looks better. Now let's figure out what we're going to do in this section here. Now, to make this stand out from the rest of the cities where tourists might go, I might try and do a man-made lake in this centre section here, because this is going to kind of be like a nice park walkway sort of area. So if you're waiting for your ferry or your bus or train, you can kind of chill out in this nice sort of section that we'll have going on here. So what we'll do is we'll see if we can grab lower level water, maybe out of here, because that seems to be a consistently working section. And then let's just lower this terrain around it here, and hopefully, fingers crossed, if we get this somewhat right, this should just fill up and be a nice lake. I can't see any areas where it might leak. I'm just kind of praying that it'll be alright, to be honest with you, because it's very temperamental, the water in this game. I can't lie to you. How are we looking there? It's not very high, is it? Quite a low lake. Can we upgrade these to the different keys? Something like this. We could, but the problem is they won't have the... What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Is that going to do the same? Yeah, for some bizarre reason. Is it because it's not high enough, probably? I reckon it's probably because it's not high enough. Hey ho. Let's just refill in that gap that we had there. And we're probably going to have to just use that. Unless, actually... Oh, I've got an idea. Whether it'll work or not is different kettle of fish, but I have an idea. And if I've got an idea, it's usually going to cost me a lot of time. Right. Now hear me out. Let's just start the time and let's see what we can do here then. We want this lake. We want to reduce the height slightly to begin with. And we'll reduce the radius as well. Just no, we won't. And let's just try and fill this and see what on earth happens. I have saved it just prior to this so that we, if we start flooding, it should be all right. Come on, please don't flood. Please don't flood. That looks like it hasn't flooded, if you ask me. We might be in for a winner. Chicken dinner. That looks like it's worked without any problems for now. Is it still rising? Oh no! Spoken too soon! Why are you doing that? There's literally zero reason for you to do that unless the game is rubbish. And obviously the game isn't rubbish, is it, everybody? No. This is a great game. Okay. Okay, I think we might have resolved that slight issue there. A little bit of... No, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so that's okay. We should somewhat be alright there. Good, we'll take that. Let's reduce the speed down to normal and let's work on a plan for this then. So you might have guessed it, you might have not, but what I want to do is have a little nice peaceful seating area just here. But what I want is a couple of benches within that. If we whack a couple of benches here, kind of facing each other, just like that, hopefully that'll still be big enough to fit these guys in, which it is. Excellent. Let's just move that. Oh no, no, I want to pick the other one. What are you doing? Alright, well, you know what, we'll just move that instead. Same difference. Good, that's quite nice to look at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just do the surface area first within here, and then we'll start with decorating this small sort of park afterwards. So we're going to just, for the time being, do the entire thing as nice greenery. So we're going to go the whole way around, fill in this whole area, and then we'll kind of adjust it from there. Wait, is that... Have I just done the stupidest thing known to man? You know what? I don't hate that either. Not even gonna lie. That's not actually that bad. That is actually not even that bad. I will admit I did not mean to do that. But I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. It might even look better than the standard. How interesting. How do you like them apples? I think that looks nice. Look at that water. Wow, that looks nice. Holy guacamole, isn't that beautiful? I approve of this. Awesome. Right, let's try and, well, a couple of things we could do. We could try and path it out, or we can see what kind of parks we can actually fit in here. Because we might actually be able to fit in a couple of nice looking stuff. For example, this. Probably the only location that can fit is probably about here. That'll be another quite nice place to sit and chill. Yeah, like that. That looks nice. I'm happy with how that looks. Let's see what else park-wise we got. I don't know why I keep clicking the wrong one. It's just a weird thing that I do. I'm sure there'll be something else which looks fantastic within here that we could potentially fit in. Maybe, I think that's going to be slightly too big for us to try and blend in. What about here? Does that, no, that has got a road, doesn't it? Good. Maybe we could fit that one in. We draw out a pathway that goes just here. And then run this pathway just along the edge to the other side, like that. That could work. That doesn't like that angle, does it? Come on, son. Angle it up, boy. Oh, it doesn't at all. It likes it there. Well, it doesn't like those. No problem. We want this one to be essentially drawn in a straight line if we can. Just at an angle like that. Looks a bit weird down there, but it is what it is. we can cut through the middle of that as well and link it up to our road. Good. We'll just connect up at various different spots just to kind of blend everything in together. Now, I don't know if we can draw that all the way to the end as well. Oh, looks very, very complex over here. Maybe a little bit too much going on the paths on that section. That can definitely cross over though. Like so. Good, good, good. Let's draw one across there. We could do with one going up here. Maybe another one just going across there. And how we look in on this section, maybe just a little path there. Okay, okay. I'm just working on the little viewing seats over here. We've just added a few more benches along this section with a few bushes to make it look nice and pretty. A couple of flower pots to get the entrance sort of going like that. I think that looks quite nice. I'd happily sit there and wait for my bus or ferry or train. Good. I like the way that looks. What I want to do is just have a little look around here. We could fit a small little fountain just on the edge there. Might even have a matching one just on the edge here. These are all probably going to be slightly too large. So what we'll go for is, do we want it here? I think that'd be quite cool. Or do we want it here? I think we want it here. Yeah, why not? And then that can go there. That can go there. And then we just need a couple of small bushes just along this stretch here. Like that. Like that. And then we might even chuck in couple of bushes just along the inside of this edge that we've got here, and then the same just running around the outside there and matching that on the other side as well, just to integrate a little bit of greenery into it, make it look a little bit nicer, nice and cultivated sort of area that we've got, which I think that looks fantastic. And ta-da! Would you look at that? That's what I call a park. That looks phenomenal in my opinion. I think that looks really, really good. And to be honest, if I have just come off a long ferry and saw this, I'd just sit and chill and be so happy. I think that looks fantastic. Really, really nice. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm pretty proud of that, to be honest. I had no plans of building this at all. And then it kind of just, I had a thought in my head and was like, oh, that could work. And there we go. It does indeed work nicely. Now we've got this space behind the train station here, between the train station and the highway, that we kind of need to do something with. It's kind of just dead man's land or no man's land, whatever you want to call it. It's not really much that we can do with it. So I'm just trying to think of what we could potentially do. I mean, initially anyway, we could certainly fit some footpaths down the back of here, and then it kind of looks like it connects up, if you know what I mean. So that could somewhat work. And then if we drew that down and then linked it up into here, I think that would be a sensible move. So let's just draw that all the way down here, link it up just over there, like that. Nothing too crazy, it just is what it is. My other thought is we could lift a pedestrian footbridge up over here, and then one goes up over here and then links up to the back of this train station. So we might think about trying to do that. don't see why we couldn't. So let's try and figure that out, shall we? So if we want to grab this and then bring it up to 10 meters, we shouldn't have any problems doing so. We can just do it at an angle like that. Is that too steep? Certainly looks too steep. Interesting. Okay, we're working on it. We've managed to get a pedestrian bridge that runs across, and it looks quite nice, to be honest with you. It's a nice style bridge. Now we need to try and land that on the ground, which is going to be difficult to do it and make it look nice, in my opinion. It might be somewhat of a problem. But if we stretch out the ramp as much as possible there, probably to about here, because then people can still access that. Oh, we can't. That looks like it's basically floating. But I guess it needs to be done. And then that went in there, that went in there. Obviously we need to delete these trees, otherwise we're not going to be able to see much when you're walking across the pedestrian bridge. So if we just draw back a few of those just here and there, and then we can replace them a little bit later on. Oh. Okay, we can kind of see what we're trying to do here now. So that... Man, that's just ugly though, isn't it? Do you not think that's ugly? Like the initial bridge, it's just bringing it down doesn't look great at all, unless we try something different, which could do, to be fair. So that's roughly the same sort of size. I'm going to try and do it with terrain and see if that works better. Okay, so I've done a little bit of work here and there. So as you can see, I've got this overpass bridge that goes across the train line, connects up via a little footpath here, and then this other bridge, larger bridge that goes across, connects up to the rear of this train station, which looks great. Treed in quite a lot of this space with a few footpaths, nothing too crazy. And then we've added a few row housing essentially along this section all the way to the end there, just to kind of fill that space in to make it look a little bit fuller. So I think that looks quite good. We just need to set up a few lines around these stations and buses, trains and ferries. Set a couple of them up, and then we'll go from there. So I completely overlooked the fact that you can add upgrades to the port for some reason. I didn't even think of it. So we could add an additional pier, which would add something along here. Which, to be honest with you, do we need? I mean, we probably do need. I'm undecided. And then obviously we've got this transit hub as well, which kind of makes sense to have. But I think we might as well. We might as well have it hooked up there. And then we just need to try and drag this out a little bit. Just to try and blend it in just that a little bit more. Like that. And I'm hoping we sort this terrain out slightly. That should actually function. Fingers crossed, or not. For whatever reason this doesn't want to play ball. Not sure about that one, to be honest with you. Smooth the terrain. I mean, if it allows boat traffic to come through, then that would be fantastic. But it looks like it's taken both stops into account, doesn't it? Yeah, that's all right. Let's see if we can set up passenger ship lines. Where can we go to then? Oh, there's loads, absolutely loads. I don't think we can fit through there, can we? We'd have to go all the way around. Should we see if we can get a small line across here? I reckon we might be able to squeeze it through. No. We can do that. That'll be a smaller ship. And we can just integrate that into there. And that can go into there. I'm not sure whether or not It will let us do it though. I mean, it does. Ooh, to Chelsea, how posh. So let's complete that route. That can go to Chelsea. That one can go all the way around there. And another one can go all the way to Lynn. And then using the alternative terminal. Oh, he doesn't like it. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Interesting. We're gonna have to mess around. We have our first boats. Look, they're just coming out of everywhere. Oh my god, this is going to be a busy bus terminal. They're funny looking buses. Boat terminal. We might have actually added a few too many lines here. Because as you can see, we've got queuing traffic pretty much everywhere. This guy is just driving like he stole it. But it is somewhat working. I'm not sure if we can lower that terrain underneath here. Well, because it's basically banking itself, isn't it, to get up onto the side. So maybe, I don't know if we can. Can't even drop that back for some bizarre reason. It just doesn't let us, which is very strange. Very strange. What if we just... No, it looks worse with the grass exposed. I mean, I don't know why they're like that. Is it worth us trying to... Well, I mean, I don't really know what that is. I've pulled it out slightly with Move It, and it looks like it's a little bit more normal now. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Right, we need to sort this out, because that is not normal. This math ain't mathing. Okay, well, I'm going to just sort this out. Right, I've reduced the amount of boats per line to the absolute minimum amount that we need. Or can put it down to. So hopefully this traffic problem should stop being a problem sometime soon, because we'll have a lot less boats to deal with. I don't know if anybody's actually using this place though. That's a whole different question, whether anybody's actually going to be using this. Got enough employees. There's 21 people waiting. That's, I mean, good enough for me. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't, who knows. And then from where we've dragged it out slightly, it doesn't look too bad at all, so we'll leave that kind of as it is. We have a lot less boat traffic now, which is fantastic, so that looks better. Good, right, just buses now. So I've added bus routes as well. The only issue that we now have is the fact that we don't have enough buses, so we're going to have to build another bus station somewhere around here. And then just integrate those buses into the bus line that we are going to have. So I'm going to find somewhere to build a bus station and go from there. Well, I built a bus depot, but I think, I don't know about you, I'm not entirely sure about this, but I think we might have too many buses. I'm not sure though, don't quote me on that. And there we have it, the progress that we've made in this episode. I'm just going to show you the Port Park bus and train sort of area, because we're aware of the highway that we've built, but I think this is key, pardon the pun with all the keys there, but I think this looks really nice, and it's a key feature for people arriving in the city to see our beautiful park that we've established down here. I think it does really look nice. It's very unique, and I'm very proud of that one, because that was kind of just a thought off the top of my head. I wasn't planning to do it. But there we have it. That looks lovely. Like always, if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me. Still on the road to try and get 1,000 subscribers. So if you can help by any means, then please do. Nevertheless, if you want more videos, then let me know. Give me any ideas in the comment sections for anything that you want to see. And thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Good night.